everybody? I really do like this story and I want to share it with you because this is one of the ways that you can stop debt collectors. And, really, when it comes down to it on stopping a debt collector, it varies. The laws vary from state to state. And yes, we do have the overall overarching Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, but you're going to have to figure out ways to put the debt collector up against the wall to make them. Uh, think that they could potentially face trouble if they continue with going after you. What I'm seeing with people, a lot of situations is where individuals are striking their own deals, and the debt collectors are doing that so they can move on to other people. And there's a lot of class action lawsuits that are going on out there. And really, with the debt collection companies, what they'll do is they'll just say everyone that was in that class action will just forgive the debt. We bought it on, for pennies on the dollar. We'll pay the fees because we're making millions of dollars, and we'll just move on. And then we'll try not to do that the next time. But what happens is that and you know how it is when you're trying to, find someone that you loan money to and they don't want to pay it or they don't have the money to pay it. You sometimes have to go through some different things to get their attention. And basically, what they're doing is trying different strategies to get people's attention. Now, this was from a lawsuit that from this article here back in July 26, 2021. So now let's kind of read through it here. Debt collection company gave private customer information and balance due. I don't know how they gave complete account numbers. They maybe gave the last four, but they maybe gave the account number of the debt collection company, the original debt collection company, to a third party in order to try to collect the money. A new class action lawsuit alleges on Thursday, class action lawsuit filed by Carmen M. Pagan against Portfolio Recovery Associates LLC has moved to a New Jersey federal court. Now, even if you're not in New Jersey, don't worry because the, the information that you're about to learn, you can use this to stop them where you're at. So the complaint alleges that Portfolio Recovery violated the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and the New Jersey, see, look, this is federal, and then the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act by giving customers confidential information to an outside vendor in order to send collection letters. See, this is what we're talking about right here. Uh, are debt collectors using a lawyer in your area? That lawyer in your area has to assume that everything that portfolio is giving them is true. And one of the ways that we've challenged lawyers is we've said, okay, are you signing on to what portfolio recovery is doing? And please provide us the information that shows that you have permission for me to have my private information. This is very important. And think about it. We're living in a time period where privacy is like everything. Nobody wants to reveal anyone's private information. It's all over the place. So Pagan says on June 16th last year, she got a collection letter from PRA that she believed was mailed using a third party letter business, that she never consented to have her private information. Now, even if it's from a third party, you use this, but also you use this on the debt collector. You can actually use this on portfolio. How did portfolio get your personal information? Did they got it from the original creditor? Okay, original creditor needs to give you a document showing that I signed that you can have access to my personal information. That is the link. That is the link that is similar to what this link is with just using a letter service. By using a letter vendor, defendant has recklessly disclosed Pagan's personal identifying information and private information about her debt to a third party without Pagan's prior consent. The complaint reportedly says, now let's go down here. Defendant willfully disclosed information about Pagan's debt, including the account number associated with the debt, which was probably with portfolio, and alleged balance due. Pagan is looking to represent a class of New Jersey residents whose private information was given to Portfolio Recovery Associates since June 16, 2015, in an attempt to collect on Citibank NA or Sears accounts. She says the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act prevents a debt collector from communicating with a third party about a debt without permission. And this is, they're giving information to the letter company to send out the letters. It also prevents publishing a list, which was what they did in actuality by giving that information to that letter company, uh, publishing a list of consumers who have unpaid debts, which she says she believes PRA did by publishing the private financial information on of the plaintiff and the class. Defendant demands damaged them by exposing their private information to persons who lacked any right or entitlement to their private financial information. The complaint reported is Pagan is also suing for negligence and invasion of privacy and wants a judge to order an injunction stopping portfolio recovery from continuing with the alleged behavior. Now, look at this right here. Pay attention to this line right here. It says that there is a strict law around the debt collection. The debt collection can go after money. Earlier than this month, an appeals court ruled that a barcode on a debt collector's envelope that can be scanned to reveal a debt collector's reference number could breach privacy laws because it makes it possible to determine a recipient's financial predicament. So we can see here that there's a lot of ways that you can uh, pick apart what debt collectors are doing, but you have to kind of read through, uh, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and look at ways that they have sent information or communications to you in writing, or maybe they've done it over the phone, and then you can pick out and see if you feel that that's a violation, and then you can submit to them because they just don't want to really run into too much of this. Now, let me tell you one violation before I end the video that people are not understanding as a violation. If you talk to a debt collector over the phone, actually, I'm going to mention too, if you talk to a debt collector over the phone and they have not sent you a letter notifying you that you're being pursued by them as a debt collector, that is a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. They must submit that in writing first. The next thing, if a debt collector tries to say, well, you got this letter from online and you're sending this to us, ha ha ha. If you want to get serious about paying this debt or dealing with this, you better come with something better or, come and talk to us. That is actually harassment. You may not think that that's harassment because it sounds like, it could be like some type of everyday talk between two people rubbing at each other, but that's not. When these debt collectors are required by the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act to remain professional no matter what the situation is, no matter how you may speak to them, they must remain professional. They are the business person. You are just, or we are just the consumers, and so they have to be professional. So watch out for those two things because they could just do sly remarks to you and you might just brush them off, but they cannot do that. All right, if you need help with debt collectors where you have debt collectors sending you letters, I have my 3 pack of letters, statute of limitations letter, where you can make sure that you even have to pay the debt, and you can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, and go to my blog and type in statute of limitations. You can see the statute of limitations on debt. Column 1 is for regular debts. Column 4 is for credit card or open end accounts where you can charge and then pay and charge again. If it's past legal statute of limitations, you only have to use the one letter notifying them that they're attempting to collect a debt that is past the legal statute of limitations for them to collect. You don't have to pay it. You don't have to do any debt validation, none of that stuff. The next one is a cease and desist collection activities letter, which I give you. And that letter is to be used when you're getting that first letter from a debt collector because it's making them go through, just like what I asked, that they asked a question about the privacy. We have that included in that letter to see how that person, or I mean, that company or that lawyer was able to have access to your private information. And if it's the original debt collector, how did they get permission from the original creditor to have access to your private information? Very important. The third letter I give you is a debt validation letter, and that letter is to be used when you're going back and forth because they're going to try to send you some statements and some little stuff. They're going to try to bypass the stuff about the privacy and all of that. You just need to keep going back and forth with them until they quit. This is going to be a back and forth job on your part. Now, if you have debt collectors suing you in court, I have a program, the link is below here, where I'll show you how to respond to them point by point in their court summons or citation, uh, or you can have us do it for you. We do it for a small fee of $149. It could potentially save you hundreds or thousands of dollars, and it also shows you a way that you can fight against debt collectors in the future if you have more coming at you. We've been doing very well with them. Again, it varies from court to court, but at least you'll have a fighting chance. And if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, where you can see exactly how my company repairs credit and helps you get out of debt for less than what you owe. And if you need your credit reports and scores, please go to the website your3scores.com. Links are below this video. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.